Picture the endless grasslands of Central Asia. The steppe, where sky and earth meet in a vast, windswept expanse. Winters are fierce, summers scorching, and survival demands resilience. The Mongols thrived here as nomads, moving with their herds, horses, sheep, goats, camels across the plains. Their animals provided food, clothing, and shelter. Nothing was wasted. Mongol families lived in gurs or yurts, portable homes perfect for their mobile life. Men became expert horsemen and archers from childhood, mastering skills essential for hunting and defense. Women managed camps, processed animal products, and kept the community running. Every member contributed. Everyone's skills were vital. The harsh steppe shaped the Mongols into tough, resourceful survivors. Waste was unthinkable. Every part of an animal was used. Their connection to the land and animals was deep and spiritual. They believed in the eternal blue sky, or Tengri, guiding their actions and giving meaning to their world. Life was a constant cycle of movement, work, and adaptation. The Mongols' culture was a direct response to the challenges of their homeland. Their mobility, toughness, and unity with nature set them apart. This environment forged a people ready for extraordinary feats. The steppe was not just their home, it was their teacher. Out of this world, a force would soon emerge to shake the foundations of history. The Mongol story begins here, in the heart of the steppe. Before a single leader united them, the Mongol world was fractured and dangerous. The steppe was a patchwork of rival tribes, Tatars, Karaits, Naimans, Merkits, locked in endless cycles of raids and feuds. Loyalty was to clan, not to a Mongol nation. Alliances shifted constantly. Today's friend could be tomorrow's enemy. This disunity left the tribes weak and vulnerable to outside manipulation. The Jin dynasty in China exploited these divisions, playing tribes against each other to prevent any one group from becoming too powerful. The Tatars, for example, often acted as agents for the Jin, deepening old hatreds. The result was chaos. No tribe could dominate, and violence was constant. External powers fueled internal conflict, ensuring the Mongols remained divided. For one young boy, whose father was poisoned by the Tatars, these rivalries would become deeply personal. The Mongols were trapped in a cycle of poverty and warfare, unable to realize their collective strength. But change was coming. Into this world of betrayal and hardship, Temujin was born. His father's murder by the Tatars left his family abandoned and struggling to survive. Temujin's early years were marked by hunger, danger, and the constant threat of enemies. Instead of breaking him, these trials forged his resilience and determination. As he grew, Temujin gathered loyal followers, valuing merit and loyalty over birth. He formed key alliances, notably with Togrul of the Karit, and proved his courage by rescuing his kidnapped wife, Borte. Temujin's revolutionary leadership promoted commoners for their skill, creating a fiercely loyal army. He absorbed defeated tribes, ending cycles of revenge and building unity. By 1206, Temujin had defeated his rivals and united the Mongol tribes. At a great council, he was proclaimed Genghis Khan, universal ruler. The warring clans became a single nation, bound by loyalty and shared purpose. The Mongols were now ready to look beyond the steppe. Genghis Khan's rise was not just personal, it was the birth of a new world power. The stage was set for conquest. The world would soon know the name Genghis Khan. The Mongol army was a force unlike any before, built on speed, discipline, and tactical brilliance. Every soldier was a master horseman and archer, able to ride for days and strike with deadly accuracy. Their composite bows, small but powerful, could pierce armor from horseback. Mobility was key. Each warrior had several horses, allowing rapid movement and surprise attacks. The Mongols perfected tactics like the feigned retreat, luring enemies into traps. Genghis Khan organized his army into a strict decimal system, ensuring clear command and discipline. Communication was swift. Flags, horns, and smoke signals coordinated complex maneuvers. Disobedience was harshly punished. Unity was absolute. Psychological warfare was a weapon surrender brought mercy, resistance brought destruction. Their reputation for brutality often led cities to surrender without a fight. The Mongol army's combination of speed, skill, and terror made it unstoppable. No fortress or army seemed safe from their reach. The world trembled before the Mongol horde. With the tribes united, Genghis Khan unleashed his army on the world. The Jin dynasty in northern China fell first as the Mongols adapted to siege warfare and captured Beijing. Turning west, they crushed the Khwarezmian Empire after its Shah killed Mongol envoys. Cities like Samarkand and Bukhara were destroyed, opening the way to the Middle East and Europe. After Genghis Khan's death, his sons and grandsons expanded the empire further. Mongol armies swept into Russia, burning Kiev and defeating European knights at Legnica and Mohi. In the Middle East, Hulagu Khan sacked Baghdad, ending the Abbasid Caliphate and shocking the Muslim world. The Mongol conquest stretched from the Pacific to the Danube, creating the largest land empire in history. Their campaigns left cities in ruins and populations devastated. Yet they also opened new routes for trade and exchange. The world map was redrawn by Mongol hands. No empire had ever spanned so much land or moved so swiftly. The age of Mongol dominance had begun. Conquest brought new challenges. How to govern a vast, diverse empire. The Mongols established the Pax Mongolica, a period of stability and order across Eurasia. They practiced religious tolerance, allowing subjects to keep their faiths as long as they obeyed the Khan. Karakorum, the Mongol capital, became a crossroads of cultures and religions. Trade flourished along the revitalized Silk Road, protected by Mongol law. Merchants traveled safely with Mongol passports and a postal relay system. The Yam sped messages across the empire. Genghis Khan built a merit-based administration, employing talented officials from many backgrounds. The Mongol government was international, pragmatic, and efficient. Knowledge, technology, and culture flowed freely between East and West. Gunpowder, printing, and scientific ideas crossed continents. The Mongol Empire became a bridge connecting civilizations. Their rule transformed Eurasia, leaving a legacy of exchange and innovation. The world was more connected than ever before. The Mongol Empire grew too vast for one ruler to control. Genghis Khan's descendants divided it into 4 khanates, each ruled by a branch of his family. The Yuan dynasty in China, founded by Kublai Khan, adopted Chinese customs and ruled from Beijing. The Golden Horde dominated Russia, demanding tribute and shaping its history. The Ilkhanate ruled Persia, blending Mongol and Persian cultures and eventually converting to Islam. The Chagatai Khanate held Central Asia, preserving traditional nomadic ways. At first, these khanates recognized the Great Khan's authority, but rivalries and competition soon turned them into independent states. Wars between khanates weakened the empire. The tradition of dividing inheritance, once a strength, now fueled fragmentation. The unity of the Mongol world began to unravel. The Mongol Empire's decline began with succession struggles. No clear system for choosing a new Great Khan led to civil wars and division. The empire's sheer size made centralized control impossible. Local rulers grew independent, and the khanates drifted apart. Cultural assimilation eroded Mongol identity. Rulers in Persia became Persian, in China, Chinese. The unique drive that fueled conquest faded. External pressures mounted. The Black Death swept along Mongol trade routes, killing millions and disrupting society. Rebellions broke out, most notably the Red Turban Rebellion in China. In 1368, the Mongols were driven from China, ending their rule. The once mighty empire splintered into competing states. The age of Mongol dominance was over. Though the empire fell, the Mongols' impact endures. The Pax Mongolica created the world's first global trade network, linking China, the Middle East, and Europe. Chinese inventions like gunpowder and the compass reached Europe, fueling the Renaissance and Age of Exploration. Marco Polo's journey to Kublai Khan's court inspired new quests for trade and discovery. Mongol rule reshaped Russia, paving the way for a unified Russian state. In China, the Yuan dynasty unified the country and established Beijing as its capital. The Mongols showed the power of leadership, discipline, and adaptability. Their rise and fall offer lessons on unity, diversity, and the dangers of division. From the remote steppe, they changed the world forever. The legacy of the Mongols still echoes through history.